called to the first race in Austin down at COTA and had a great one. Out of our division, he got a 5th and a 4th, so we were really pleased. He certainly set the bar.
Never driven the track, never even seen the track before that day. So I was pretty messed up when I first got there. Really, very anxious. I was also quite nervous about the start because the turn 1 on that track is a more than 90-degree climbing turn. So you can charge in there at full speed and brake far later than you would expect. Throwing themselves in there 6 wide, and a couple of the boys got it wrong. So they collected each other in the middle of the track. I found myself on the inside, so it was very exciting, and it creates a different vibe that you have to work your way through. Notwithstanding the fact that I had to bring the car home in one piece to hand it off to Mike for the next race just 4 weeks later.
The biggest thing that I got to work on is taking myself out of my comfort zone. So I can run at a nice speed. I'm comfortable there, that's easy. So today, what I'll start to work on is pushing myself out of that where I want to be mildly close to being out of control. That'll be the change today. Getting ready for that. Well, I'm just going to get the time right now. So we'll get the times, and we'll also see where I was on my line compared to the real guys. It'll just tell you where to be and when to get on the brake, when to get on the gas. The interesting problem, objectively, there's almost always somebody in front or behind you. So there's very few just clean laps.
Well, the first thing going down into turn 2, so but he just carries more speed all the way down. So what lap are you doing?
I mean, it kind of is what it is. If there's somebody there, then you change it, but otherwise, okay. Good job.
Nope. Yep. He's just giving us some maintenance, right? Decelerating, a little more brake, coasting.
Right at the top of the hill. Really, what I'll try to do now this second session is just hit those brakes harder, get off of them. I'm in the right spot. Hit the gas and stay on it full. I kind of drive into it. I know what's coming up, so I sort of slow down in anticipation of a blind rise and then that corkscrew. And I've got to charge in there and not worry about the fact that it's blind or there's a corkscrew. That's what I'm going to do.
GT4 is one of the first mid-engine cars that we've run, obviously from Porsche. We've been used to running a rear-engine car. And with the mid-engine car, the balance of the chassis and the balance of the performance is much better. It's much easier to get it in the performance window. There's an equal amount of pressure in each wheel, and that's what this coilover setup allows us to do. It's very similar to a table. When you get into like a restaurant and the table's tips to one side or the other, a race car is very similar. The future of motor racing is not going to be stick shift. So the GT4 street car has a stick shift. The GT4 race car has the PDK transmission, which is an engineering marvel in itself. This car utilizes ABS, traction control, and stability management. The computer on board will actually catch the car before a driver may catch the car and actually prevent them from either going off into the wall or going off into the dirt or actually hitting somebody. That's the beauty of this car. Number 1, safe. Number 2, a high level of performance, and number 3, reliable. And these are the 3 things that will keep motor racing viable in the future. It's relatively reasonable to maintain and operate, yet the level of performance is not that far off a full-blown race car. Chaos. 10 minutes late now.
We really want to keep the contact down to a minimum.
Let's see what happens.